Hi everyone, welcome to Love and Life's Journey. I'm Chantel. Thanks so much for stopping by, and if you're new to my channel, welcome. I hope that you like what you see and decide to subscribe and stick around a while. So I am back today with another DIY project, and this is a Dollar Tree DIY that is another one of my faux metal projects. So if you didn't see that faux metal technique that I have done with the faux metal flowers, I will link that video in the description box below so you can check that out. But today's project is a wall decor piece that I'm actually going to put mine out on my front porch on the house, on the side of the house. But you could use them inside or outside. So let's jump right into it and I'll show you how to put these together. For this project, I am using two 8x10 picture frames from Dollar Tree. You can really use any size for this. You just need to scale your other pieces to go with it. I'm also using these aluminum cookie sheets. They come in a 2-pack at Dollar Tree. I'll be using a total of 3 cookie sheets, so you'll need 2 packages of these. I'm using one of these pineapple cups. Really, all I'm going to be using is the straw from this. And I'll be using one of these whistles from these party favors. I'll be using some floral wire that I got at Walmart. I had this on hand already, but I think you can get some wire at Dollar Tree. And I'll be using chalk paint in the colors Elephant, Truffle, and Ivory, as well as some just black craft paint that you can use any kind. Since I'm putting my project outside, I am going to seal it with this matte clear sealer. And I'll also be using E6000, some Gorilla Glue sticks in my hot glue gun, and a foam brush. The first thing I'm going to do is glue my aluminum baking sheets together to make a triple layer of aluminum. This will just make it sturdier and so that it will hold up better, especially since I'm going to be putting this outside. So I'm just putting some E6000 on one of the trays, and then I will press a second tray down on top of that. Then I'm going to take a third tray and I'm going to cut the rim off of this one, just because when I glue it onto those other two, I think it'll be a little bit hard to cut through all 3 layers, so this way that third rim will already be cut off. Then again, I'm just adding the E6000 onto the 2 trays that were glued together, and I'm going to put that third piece of aluminum right on top, and then I will just weight that down with some heavy books and I'll let that dry completely. So I actually saw this project in a catalog, and so the picture was pretty small, but I wanted to use the same butterfly and dragonfly shapes, so I enlarged them on a copy machine, and I couldn't get the whole butterfly and dragonfly on the one piece of paper, and so I'm going to be cutting this out and then tracing it on a folded piece of paper so that I can make a full size pattern. Now I realize that you won't have this same picture, but you can find any butterfly or dragonfly shape that you like and do the same thing. Just enlarge it to the size that you will need. And for this, you want the butterfly to be large enough so that it will touch the frame in at least 3 places. So as you can see with mine, on the top corner on the side and then that bottom wing, those will all connect with the picture frame. And with the dragonfly, you want to make sure that both wings will touch the frame. So then I'm just going to trace my shapes on the foil trays now that they're completely dry, and then I'll just cut those out. And then I'm repeating the exact same steps for the dragonfly wings. Next, I'm going to use the elephant chalk paint, and I'm going to just use the foam brush and just really sloppily paint this on. I'm not trying to cover all of the silver, I'm just putting a light coat on. Once the first coat is dry, I'm going to go back over it with a second coat of paint, again just kind of sloppily, and then I'm going to take a paper towel and just kind of blot it so that you don't see any brush strokes, but it just kind of has a little bit of a mottled look, and it's okay if the aluminum baking sheet is showing through in places. In fact, I wanted it to show through a little bit more, so in some places I rubbed a little bit harder with the paper towel. After that paint is dry, I'm going to come back in with some of the truffle colored chalk paint, and you can use any darker colored paint. I'm going for kind of a rusty aged look, so I wanted it to be kind of a brown color, but any darker color will kind of give it that aged look. And I'm just going to brush some around the edges in places and just in some various spots just randomly. So now I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with this pineapple cup. I'm sure you've been wondering, but really I'm just going to use the straw out of it, and then I'm going to use one of these whistles, and I'm going to take the whistle part off of it and just use the bottom part and not the whistle. Using the foam brush and that black craft paint, I'm just going to paint both of these, and I do kind of have to squish the paint into that ribbed area of the straw, but I just cover it all up, and my goal here is to make it look kind of like wrought iron. And I did do 2 coats of paint on this. While that's drying, I'm going to take apart my picture frames, and I'm going to pull out those little tabs that hold the backing on and just remove everything so that all I have left is just the frame. Then I'm going to paint my frames using the chalk paint in the color ivory, and I am giving these 2 coats, but I'm not worrying if a little bit of the black frame shows through because I am going to be distressing these a little bit. So while the frames are drying, I'm using a little bit of the elephant chalk paint just to dry brush on to these pieces to give them a little bit more of an aged look as well. Next, I'm going to take some sandpaper and just rub it in random places on the frames once the paint is dry. And I usually do all of the corners and then just a few random places. When you're distressing things, you want to do the edges that would get worn so it looks a little more natural. So generally the corners and the edges will get a little bit of sanding and then just some random places. Once I'm done sanding, I just take a damp cloth and wipe the frame down to get all of the paint dust off. To assemble the dragonfly, I'm going to first add some craft sticks to the back of the wings, and this will just give it some more stability. And I'm using E6000 and my hot glue gun to glue those on. Then I'm going to figure out where I want to place them, and I'll go ahead and glue the body onto the wings using E6000 and hot glue again. Then I'm going to position the dragonfly so that I can glue the tips of the wings to each side of the frame, and the bottom of the body will get glued in the corner. Then I'm going to cut a piece of wire about 5 or 6 inches long, and I'm going to fold it in half, and I'll be poking that folded end down inside the straw, so it needs to fit down inside the top of that straw. And then I'm just going to form the little curly tops of the antenna till I like the way they look, using my pliers. And then I'll just glue that in the top of the straw for the dragonfly's antennas. So you can see here on my butterfly, there's some stripes on it. I was kind of experimenting, trying to get like a corrugated metal look, and I didn't really like it, so I went back to doing it in my original technique, but that's why you see these lines on the back of my butterfly. So I'm gluing the craft sticks on the back of the butterfly as well to help stabilize it, and then I'll be gluing it to the other frame. So before I glue the butterfly to the frame, I'm going to glue the body on, and I'm putting the open part to the top, so that's like the head, so that I can insert the antenna into that just like I did on the dragonfly. I made the antenna for my butterfly the same way as I did for the dragonfly. However, I did make them a little bit longer. I just thought that was cuter. So these are probably a 7 or 8 inch piece of wire, or maybe even a little bit longer. So next I'm going to position the butterfly onto the frame, and as I said at the beginning of the video, I want to make sure it connects with the frame in at least three places. And so I will be gluing it on one side, and then the top, and then down on the other side. The final step is to spray the entire project with a clear matte sealer, and I would recommend doing this even if you're going to have it in the house, but definitely you'll want to do this if you are going to put it outside, and I put a couple of coats of this sealer on mine. And here is what it looks like hanging on my front porch. I wish maybe I had made them a bigger size for this space, but I really like how they turned out, and I decided to just go ahead and drill some holes in the top and the bottom of the frame, and then screw them onto the wall because the wind blows like crazy at our house. So that's how I attach them. You can attach them however you like, put any kind of hanger on them that you would like.
So the ones I saw in the catalog were $17 each, and then you would have to pay shipping and handling, so it would cost at least $40 for this set, and I made them for about $10. I hope you liked this project. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so that you'll be notified when I upload new videos to YouTube. Also, be sure to check out my faux metal flowers video. The link to that is in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching, and have a blessed day.